Kusie for 6 minutes, please.
Thank you very much, Chair, and thank you to the witnesses for being here today. Mr. Mills, you started off by saying that it is extraordinary that you would generally have, if I may say, the middle managers, not the top officials. Yeah, that absolutely is extraordinary. But what's also extraordinary is that Canadians paid $54 million for the ArriveCAN app. What's even more extraordinary than that is the RCMP investigation we have now, which has allegations of forged resumes, identity theft, collusion, and fraudulent contracting. So, I mean, that's really extraordinary. What's also extraordinary, Mr. Mills, is that this government has a history, actually, of not listening to women, for letting the men speak for women. You can talk to Jane Philpotts if you want to about that. You could talk to Jody Rayson-Wilbode about that. You could also talk to Selena Sajar-Chavez. And finally, I'll say, Mr. Mills, we originally invited these three women, understanding that they would be perfectly capable of responding for themselves. And if you don't mind me saying so, this committee actually has a history, unfortunately, of senior executives within the government not necessarily telling us the truth in this committee. And unfortunately, I think it's a result of their political masters, but that's certainly a deeper conversation. So with all of that, Mr. Mills, I do believe...
Je pense, compte tenu de tout cela, que nous devons peut-être en tenir compte pour les trois personnes qui sont impliquées, dont nous avons demandé la comparution aujourd'hui.
As such,
Sorry, one moment, please. We're in
Thank you.
translation.
Yep.
Interpreter's mistake, wrong channel. Apologies.
Working again in translation?
Yes, it's working now. Yeah, keep going.
okay, ça fonctionne maintenant? That works right now? Okay.
It is now working.
Mr. Chair, can Ms. Kusie just go back like 30 seconds? I think we're just getting...
We will once we get it working.
The interpretation is now working.
They just picked the wrong channel. That's okay. Nobody's saying anything. That's why she cannot verify whether you're saying
Oh, we're saying right now.
It is now working, Mr. Chairman.
Is it working?
Can you try
It is now working. Checking the English channel. Checking the English channel. Checking the English channel.
We're fine now? Okay, thanks. You're at minute 30, and if Mr. Johns asks you, just move back about 30 seconds. I'll make sure the time is reset. Go ahead.
Okay, so, pardon me. So that leaves me with 4 minutes and 30 seconds? Okay, thank you so much. So, Mr. Johns, what I was saying, what I was trying to explain to the two witnesses that we originally had not invited was that, unfortunately, Mr. Johns, as you well know, we have a history in this committee of senior government executives not being forthright with us, not necessarily telling us the truth. I guess in this room I can say, frankly, lying to us, as was evidenced by the story recently in the Globe and Mail from Bill Curry. So you will forgive us then, please, if we direct our questions to the three other individuals, Ms. Durrigan, Ms. Chan, and Ms. Mansour here today, and I'll start now. Ms. Chan, why did you determine Bottler's contract to be between Bottler and the subcontractor?
That will start off with an investigation on our part once we receive the first complaint from Ms. Studd alleging that her name as well as the name of Mr. Moravev were used in a TA without their consent, and work was being conducted and the work was paid to the contractor on file on the contract, which is Dalian and Corotics in joint venture. So from when we inquire further with the representative of Corotics, they informed us that in fact, both resources were provide the sub.
You're
sorry.
doing great. Keep going. Thank you.
The work provided from the resources were provided from a third party, which was GC Strategies. From our perspective, because Dalian and Corodex did comply with what we asked for, there was nothing that was determined out of the ordinary from our audit. They did not actually breach any contract or any terms to the contract. From then on, it's a dispute between the resources, GC Strategies, and the contractor. And Canada has no purview in this dispute.
Okay, I do disagree with that. I do believe that the information that I have here states that in any subcontract other than a subcontract referred to in paragraph 2A, the contractor must, unless the contracting authority agrees in writing, ensure that the subcontractor is bound by conditions compatible with and in the opinion of the contracting authority not less favorable to Canada than the conditions of the contract, with the exception of the requirements under the Federal Contractors Program for Employment Equity, which only apply to the contractor. So the information that I have here doesn't necessarily corroborate with that. But Ms. Manser, what made you confirm with Ms. Chan that the issue was between the contractor and the resources?
Our contract is with Corodex and Dalian. Those two resources came to light as Corodex had subcontracting to GC Strategies, and GC Strategies proposed them as resources. So we have no stand to interfere in subcontracting because it's not the prime contractor with whom we have the contract.
Yeah, you certainly always have standing when you're dealing with taxpayer money. Ms. Chan, what was your understanding of the situation when you wrote Ms. Julie Prudhomme of Corodex about TA number 2021002043?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Chair. Are you asking me from my understanding
as to what was going on when you wrote with the uncertainty of this situation?
Okay, please keep in mind that the only information that was brought on to PSPC was the complaint from Ms. Stutt. So the email states that her name, as well as Mr. Moravev, were used without consent or knowledge to this particular TA. Obviously, we want to investigate this because their claim is, frankly, quite severe.
That is our time.
Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Baines?
Thank you.